Good evening. This is All India Radio, and I'm Tanvi Taneja with the news at 9. The headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds self-help groups for social and economic empowerment of women in rural areas. Aadhaar not mandatory for availing benefits of Ayushman Bharat scheme, clarifies the government. Over 1,000 crore rupees released for development of villages along the international border in 17 states. BJP President Amit Shah says alliance with the Janata Dal United is intact. In Afghanistan, 19 security personnel killed in a Taliban attack. And in cricket, England set a target of 269 runs for India in the first ODI in Nottingham. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has hailed self-help groups for their role in rural areas, especially for small entrepreneurs and labourers. Interacting with members of such groups through video conferencing today, Mr. Modi said these groups form the basis of the economic growth for the poor, particularly women. He said self-help groups are making women socially and economically strong. The Prime Minister said all of these women are an example of determination and entrepreneurship. He said providing women the opportunity to recognize their own powers, abilities and skills is the most important requirement for their empowerment. Mr. Modi said women are working in large numbers in every sector.
आज आप किसी भी सेक्टर को देखें तो आपको वहां पर महिलाएं बहुत बड़ी संख्या में काम करते हुए दिखेगी। कोई कल्पना कर सकता है पशुपालन का काम हो सकता है, हमारा कृषि क्षेत्र चल सकता है, खेती का कितना बड़ा काम हमारी माताएं बहनें करती हैं। पशुपालन तो एक प्रकार से 100% आज देश में जो दूध उत्पादन होता है हमारी माताओं बहनों का योगदान है।
Several women of self-help groups from Karimnagar and Warangal districts of Telangana attended the video conference held by the Prime Minister. They thanked him for encouraging them with different programs. Sharda of Karimnagar district said they got an opportunity to know how women of other states are progressing. She thanked the Prime Minister for launching several training programs.
अभियान से बहुत सारे हमारे को प्रशिक्षण मिल रहा है। महिलाओं को आगे बढ़ने के लिए बहुत अच्छा सहायता देने के लिए पीएम बोले हैं, बहुत अच्छा लगा है मुझे।
In Madhya Pradesh, women working for self-help groups said talking directly to the Prime Minister has motivated them to do better work. The Prime Minister also inaugurated the new headquarters of the Archaeological Survey of India in New Delhi. Speaking on the occasion, he said India should showcase its great heritage with pride and confidence to the world. The Prime Minister said people should take a lead in knowing about local history and archaeology of their towns, cities and regions.
मैं समझता हूं कि ये पुराने शिलालेख या कुछ पुरानी चीजें या कुछ पत्थर ये निर्जीव दुनिया नहीं है जी। यहाँ का हर पत्थर बोलता है। पुरातत्व से जुड़ी हुई हर कागज की अपनी एक कहानी होती है। पुरातत्व से निकले हुए हर चीज में मानव के पुरुषार्थ की, पराक्रम की, सपनों की एक बहुत बड़ा शिलालेख अंतस्फुरित होता है।
The government today clarified that Aadhaar is not mandatory to avail benefits under the Ayushman Bharat scheme, providing health insurance to poor families. Health Minister J.P. Nadda confirmed that the government will provide services to all eligible beneficiaries with or without the Aadhaar card. The scheme aims to provide an insurance cover of 5 lakh rupees per year for hospitalization to more than 10 crore poor families. The clarification came after a section of the media reported that the Aadhaar card will be a must to avail benefits under the scheme. BJP President Amit Shah today said the alliance with the Janata Dal United is intact. Addressing a meeting of party leaders and workers in Patna, he said the opposition is spreading rumours about strife in the NDA alliance in Bihar. Amit Shah also met JDU National President and Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar in Patna along with other leaders of the two parties. Nitish Kumar will host a dinner for Amit Shah at his official residence tonight. The two leaders are expected to discuss seat sharing for Lok Sabha elections. The BJP today slammed the Congress over its senior leader Shashi Tharoor's statement that if the BJP is re-elected in the next year's Lok Sabha polls, India would turn into Hindu Pakistan. Speaking to media in New Delhi, BJP spokesperson Sambit Patra alleged that Congress is resorting to appeasement politics. Demanding an apology from Congress, he also alleged that the party is trying to break the fabric of the nation by a series of attacks on the Constitution and national institutions.
हिंदुस्तान के लोकतंत्र की तुलना पाकिस्तान से करें? अरे पाकिस्तान तो आतंक को बढ़ावा देता है और ऐसे में आप कह रहे कि हिंदू पाकिस्तान बन जाएगा भारतवर्ष? ये हिम्मत केवल कांग्रेस के लीडरानों में है जो बार बार अपनी तुच्छ राजनीति के कारण भारतवर्ष को नीचा दिखाने का काम करते हैं.
On the other hand, the Congress has distanced itself from Shashi Tharoor's statement. In a tweet, party spokesman Randeep Singh Surjewala said, India's values and fundamentals are an unequivocal guarantee of our civilizational role and set us apart from the divisive idea of Pakistan. He said all Congress leaders must realize their historic responsibility while choosing words and phraseology to reject what he called BJP's hatred. The Supreme Court today said the social stigma and discrimination attached to the LGBTQ community would go if criminality of consensual gay sex is done away with. A 5-judge bench headed by Chief Justice Deepak Mishra maintained that it would scrutinize the legal validity of Section 377 of the IPC in all its aspects. Hearing a clutch of petitions challenging the constitutional validity of the 158-year-old penal law, the bench also rejected a proposal seeking retention of Section 377. The advancing of arguments remained inconclusive and will resume on Tuesday. The Supreme Court today pulled up the Delhi Lieutenant Governor for doing nothing to remove huge amount of garbage from the city. Terming the situation as absolutely bizarre, the top court referred to the mountains of garbage accumulated at 3 landfill sites in Ghazipur, Okhla and Bhalswa. It said there is a 65-meter mound of garbage at Ghazipur, which is only 8 meters less than Qutub Minar. This is All India Radio giving you the news. For quick news updates, follow us on our Twitter handle at AIR News Alerts. Home Minister Rajnath Singh has said the centre has released 1,100 crore rupees in 2017-18 for the all-round development of villages located along the international border in 17 states. He was interacting with field and state-level officers implementing Border Area Development Program in New Delhi today. Mr. Singh said the government has decided to develop 61 model villages for which 126 crore rupees have been released. Each model village will provide basic facilities such as primary health centres, primary education, community centres, connectivity, drainage and drinking water to enable sustainable living in border areas. In West Bengal, crores of people have benefited from the Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, one of the biggest financial inclusion initiatives in the world. The scheme was launched by the central government in 2014. It aims to ensure access to various financial services. The total number of beneficiaries in the state stands at over 3 crores by the end of June this year. Here is a ground report from our Kolkata correspondent.
Women have benefited the most under the financial inclusion scheme with 1,57 lakh female account holders in the state. Awareness and the financial literacy has played a key role in the success of the scheme, empowering more women at the forefront. Deepanita Dasgupta, a housewife residing in the picturesque district of Jalpaiguri district bordering Bhutan, said she has been able to save more money after opening a Jan Dhan account.
Jan Dhan योजना के अंदर ये जो जीरो बैलेंस अकाउंट है इसीलिए खुला है मैंने. कभी पैसा नहीं भी रहता है तो चार्जेस कटने की आशंका नहीं होती है उसमें, तो ये इसमें सुविधा है.
The scheme is also proving beneficial for businessmen and young entrepreneurs. One such person is Subrata Ghorai, a businessman who is also a resident of Jalpaiguri. Through the scheme, he has been able to provide insurance cover to the workers of his factory by opening their Jan Dhan bank accounts.
हमारा फैक्ट्री में हैवी मशीनरी से काम होता है. यहाँ किसी भी दुर्घटना होने का चांसेस ज्यादा है. तो ये जन धन योजना वाला जो खाता है इसके साथ आपका ये जन बीमा योजना सरकारी जो स्कीम है ये लागू हो जाता है इसमें.
The Jan Dhan Yojana has brought banking facility to the doorsteps of people in the state. The scheme is promoting a culture of saving. Government-to-government payments such as direct transfer of cash has also led to increase in transactions. Aadhaar linkage and mobile use are key elements in the inclusion scheme. With Susmita Mondal's report from Kolkata, Abhishek Kumar for AIR News.
The first meeting of the sub-group of Chief Ministers on coordination between MGNREGA and agriculture was held at Niti Aayog in New Delhi today. The group reiterated ensuring the rights of labourers and maintaining the asset creation spirit of MGNREGA. The Chief Ministers welcomed the decision taken by the Prime Minister to constitute the sub-group for suggesting ways and means of employment under MGNREGA for improving agricultural production and reducing cost. Heavy rain under the active southwest monsoon continued to batter parts of Karnataka, affecting life and causing several rivers to be in spate. Officials said today life was badly affected in the southern districts of Chikmagaluru, Shivamoga, Hassan, Kodagu and Bagalkot, which are being lashed by rain for the past several days. They said rivers including Kaveri, Tunga, Bhadravati, Krishna and their tributary streams were in spate. In Uttarakhand, Kailash Mansarovar Yatra has been interrupted due to bad weather. The 7th group of 57 pilgrims remains halted in Pithoragarh for the last 5 days. The 3rd and 4th groups have been stopped in Gunje. Indian Air Force helicopters are waiting for the weather to get cleared so that pilgrims can be taken from Pithoragarh. In business news, after an intraday rally, domestic stocks trimmed gains in mid-afternoon trade amidst positive global cues. We have a report.
BSE Sensex added 282 points to hit all-time high of 36,548. Nifty also breached the psychological 11,000 mark and closed at 11,023, up 75 points. The rupee today appreciated 20 paise and closed at around 68 rupees 57 paise against the US dollar. Gold shed 140 rupees to 31,210 rupees per 10 gram today in Delhi bullion market. Silver followed suit and slipped by 470 rupees to 40,030 rupees per kilogram. And Brent crude prices jumped 92 cents and was up at $74.32 at the time of report. Lalema Aneja Dang with G. Subramanian for AIR News.
In international news now, in Afghanistan, at least 19 security personnel were killed and another 13 injured in 2 separate Taliban attacks in Kunduz and Farah provinces today. Officials said Taliban fighters tried to overrun a military security post in the district of Dasht-e-Arq using artillery shells. The gun battle lasted for 4 hours. According to governor's spokesman in Farah, the Taliban targeted a police checkpoint. In cricket, England have set a target of 269 runs for India in their opening one-day international match in Nottingham. England were all out for 268 in 49.5 overs. Ben Stokes and Jos Buttler hit half-centuries each. For India, Kuldeep Yadav took 6 wickets and gave away only 25 runs in his 10-over spell. Earlier, India won the toss and decided to bowl. In the Wimbledon Tennis Championships, Serena Williams is set to clash with Angelique Kerber in the final of the tournament. She has the chance to win a record-breaking 24th Grand Slam title after beating the 13th seed German Julia Georges 6-2, 6-4 at Wimbledon to go into the final. The 7-time Wimbledon champion will face Angelique Kerber in a repeat of the 2016 final, which Williams won after the German beat Jelena Ostapenko earlier today. And now, before we end the bulletin, the headlines once again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi lauds self-help groups for social and economic empowerment of women in rural areas. Aadhaar not mandatory for availing benefits of Ayushman Bharat scheme, clarifies the government. Over 1,000 crore rupees released for development of villages along the international border in 17 states. BJP President Amit Shah says alliance with the Janata Dal United is intact. In Afghanistan, 19 security personnel killed in a Taliban attack. And in cricket, England set a target of 269 runs for India in the first ODI in Nottingham. And that is all in the news at 9. From all of us here, good night.